7,000 years ago, before the pyramids, before Rome, before anything you were taught to call civilization, the largest cities on Earth existed here. And every 80 years, every single generation, they burned them all to the ground. On purpose. This is the Carpathian Basin, modern Romania, Moldova, Ukraine. In 3700 BCE, a city called Talianki existed here. Population, up to 21,000 people. That's larger than Ur, larger than early Memphis, larger than anything Mesopotamia had built. Yet, we call these people the Cucuteni-Trypillia. That's not their name. We don't know their name. We don't know their language. We don't know their gods. What we know is this. Their pottery is among the most sophisticated ever made in human history. Their copper tools were centuries ahead of neighboring cultures. And every 60 to 80 years, one precise generation, they destroyed everything and started again. But here's the question that archaeology still cannot answer. Why does a civilization that built the biggest cities on Earth choose to erase them? Her name is lost. It always was. She lives in a house the size of 2 basketball courts. 2 stories. Clay walls painted in spirals of red and cream. She was born in this house. Her mother was born in this house. Tonight, she will set it on fire herself. We know this from the archaeology. Objects were not removed before the burn. They were arranged, positioned, left deliberately. Scientists reconstructed one of these burns in 2018. They built a full-size replica. They needed enormous amounts of fuel, more than any accidental fire could generate. This was not destruction. This was a ritual so precise, scientists still can't agree on what it meant. Was it grief? Was it renewal? Was it something we don't have a word for? Here is the detail that breaks every theory. At a site in Romania called Poduri, archaeologists found 13 separate habitation levels, 13 burns, 13 rebuilds, on the same spot, over thousands of years. The walls of each burned house were preserved by the fire itself. The clay fired to ceramic hardness. They weren't destroying the buildings. They were making them permanent. These people, with no writing, no iron tools, no wheel, understood that fire transforms clay into stone. One archaeologist proposed that the houses were burned when their owner died, turning a home of the living into a tomb of the dead. Another theory, the burn was a scheduled renewal. Every generation erased the physical world of the last to prevent any one family from accumulating inherited power. These cities had no palaces, no monuments to kings, no hierarchy in the buildings. The fire might have been how they stayed equal. Every 80 years, reset. But around 3200 BCE, the fire stopped working. A global climate event, the same catastrophe that destabilized civilizations from Egypt to China. The rain stopped coming. For a civilization built on intensive farming, on camelid herding, on the seasonal cycles they'd mastered for 2,000 years, this was the end of a covenant. And then, from the east, the Kurgan riders came. These were the people who would become the Indo-Europeans, who would give their languages to half the world, who arrived with horses, weapons, and a different kind of power. Between 3000 and 2800 BCE, 600 to 700 settlements were abandoned in a single generation. This time, there was no rebuilding. In 1884, a Romanian man named Teodor Barada was walking on a gravel road in a village called Cucuteni. He noticed something strange in the gravel beneath his feet. Pottery, ancient, decorated in spirals he'd never seen before. He had found the oldest cities in European history, scattered in a road, because someone needed gravel. Here's the question I want you to sit with. These people built some of the largest settlements on Earth, without kings, without palaces, without monuments to rulers, and sustained that world for nearly 2,700 years. Most civilizations that came after built themselves around hierarchy, conquest, and concentrated power. So what did they understand about society? That we forgot the moment we started building empires.